Introducing.
Here's the skinny on Matt Nagy, a.k.a. the Bears' new head coach. He played college ball at Delaware and spent 6 years as a quarterback in the Arena Football League. After that, he began his coaching career as an intern with the Eagles in 2008 under Andy Reid. He went with Reid to the Chiefs in 2013, serving as the quarterback's coach and named offensive coordinator back in June. You may also remember that he took over some of the play-calling duties for Andy Reid after Coach Reid decided to hand that over. Lewis, he inherits a team that's got a lot of question marks, a lot of holes to fill, but a promising young quarterback with which, he'll be charged with working with. I think we are going to go to Chicago. Is that correct? He is being introduced as the head coach.
We met with 6 very qualified coaches over 5 days, and we appreciate their time and their consideration. I can tell you they each presented unique circumstances and truly made this decision difficult, but also very clear. We set out to find the best leader for our franchise, period. Our research, preparation, and the interview process led us to Matt Nagy. The preparation is what allowed us to work aggressively and also with accuracy. We knew exactly what we were looking for in our head coach. This is about more than the quarterback. Yes, that's the most important position on our team, but this is about 53 players, and it's about leading a group of men, and it's about winning in all 3 phases. We met with Matt Sunday morning in Kansas City, and the longer we dug in, the more we knew he was special and he was the right fit for us. The interview started around 8 o'clock in the morning, finished around 12:30, and it was continued with dinner later that night. We go through this process, all the research, the amount of references, and it all points you in a direction. And then you go through the interviews. And to be honest, it's a really great feeling when you meet a person and everything clicks and everything comes together. Matt's a proven leader. He's a winner. He's intelligent. He's innovative. He has strong character. He's got a great family. And he shares the same passion for the game that I have. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Reid, with him being a longtime leader in our league and a successful coach. Coach Reid believes in Matt Nagy, and so do I. I'm proud to be able to pair with Matt and attack our plan for success together. With that, I'd like to introduce the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, Matt Nagy.
Thanks for everybody showing up today. This is truly an honor. It's special. It's a dream, and I'm still pinching myself. Everything happens really fast, but it means a lot to me to be here. I appreciate everybody here showing up, and I want to get started here, like most, just thanking some people. And I'll end up missing some people by accident, but I'll definitely see those and know who they are, and I'll reach out to you, down the road here. But before I get started here, I'd like to thank the McCaskey family, Ted Phillips, Ryan Pace, for believing in me, providing me the opportunity to become the 16th head coach of the NFL's founding franchise, the Chicago Bears. And I got to tell you, man, that feels good. That feels real good. I'd like to thank Clark Hunt, the entire Hunt family, along with Mark Donovan, Ted Cruz, and the rest of the Chiefs Kingdom for giving my family and I 5 wonderful years that we'll always cherish. They make it feel like it's the home of the Chiefs in Arrowhead, and I appreciate that and had a great time there. Thank you. Also want to give a thanks to Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and the Philadelphia Eagles organization for giving a 29-year-old washed-up Arena League player a chance to be a part of the National Football League, which is always my goal. I didn't do it as a player, but I'm doing it as a coach. We all have our roots, and I want to thank everyone back home in the small town of Manheim, Pennsylvania, in Lancaster County for always supporting me. Go Barons. Got to tell this story because it's just too special to not tell. As I showed up for my interview with Mr. McCaskey, he approaches me coming out of the car, and he says, I know you're from Lancaster, and asked me if I knew about McCaskey High, which is in our division in high school. And he said my great-grandfather started that school. And I said, man, my heart told me, I didn't say it to him, but this is meant to be. I also want to thank my high school head coach, Mike Williams, the rest of our staff, and all my teammates I grew up with. Wouldn't be here without you guys. University of Delaware, the late Tubby Raymond, who just passed a few months ago, my offensive coordinator, Ted Kemsky, and then the recruiting coordinator, Greg Perry, who's always there in my corner. I want to thank you for being one of 2 schools that offered me a scholarship to play Division I AA football and believing in me, as well as the rest of my Blue Hen teammates. I cherish every moment there. The Arena League, what a fun time. All my coaches, my teammates, small fraternity guys, some of us here now in the league, growing. It's been really neat. And then, of course, all the Eagles, Chiefs, coaches, and players. I could go on and on and on. I'd be remiss if I left out the quarterback rooms that I was a part of in Philadelphia and in Kansas City, and then my guy, Alex Smith. He was special to me. We built a great relationship. He helped me grow as a coach, as a person, as a leader, and I just want to thank him for that. Larry Wisdom, the guy no one in here knows, but he persuaded me to go live that dream. I'm living the dream, and the dream came true. Brad Childress, my partner, 5 years together, my partner in crime. He every day just telling stories and being there for me, being there with me. You know, he has a special place in my heart, and I just thank him from the bottom of my heart. Coach Reed, my mentor, the best. Words don't do it justice. He's my guy. I learned how to be a better coach, for sure, but I learned how to be a better person, a better man. And that's what, all in all, that's what this is all about, is being a better person, better man, and you'll be a better coach because of that. So, Coach Reed, thank you. And then last but not least, before I get to my family, Brett Veach, out of sight, out of mind, that's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that. We had our talk the last couple of days. He supports me. I love you. Thank you. Family, extended family back in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, the Northeast. Love everybody back there. I appreciate it. And then to my in-laws, Fred and Sandy, Freddie and Danny, the rest of our family, my grandmother, who's one of the strongest women that I know, along with my mother, Gail, and her husband, Jim Stouch. And then my father, who's been a big part of my life, Bill Nagy. Appreciate everything. Thanks for raising me the right way, doing things the right way. And then, of course, last but not least, these guys right here. I thought I was going to get real emotional up here, but you know what? I'm happy. I'm proud of you guys. You know, this is why we do what we do. I love y'all, right? Go Bears. Yeah. Is it the Bears? Right? The Bears? Yeah. All right, good. I love you guys. And then to my beautiful wife, she's my rock. This is why I'm here. This right here is why we do it. I love you. So with that, I'll open to questions.
If you get any questions here, we have 2 mics, so just please raise your hand. We'll get to you. Dan, going to kick us off? On the left, Dan.
Matt, this obviously moved very fast. Could you take us through Saturday night, through yesterday morning, and also the conviction that you had that this was the right thing to do for you?
Sure, yeah. Obviously, Saturday night was a very difficult night. Was numb for a lot of the night for so many different reasons. And that was, you know, just collectively for us working so hard to get to where we got to, and then to lose the way we did was difficult. But you have the family support, you know, on the drive home, you know, the pump you up deal and keep you going, because you have one of the biggest days of your life coming up the next morning. So lots of support from family, friends, and from immediate family. Support from, just to show you how this organization here works and what meant the world to me. Before I even got into that interview, I get a text message from my agent telling me they respect the loss, and they respect your feelings, and they want to, if you need to move it back, or you need some time to get over that, then do it. And that meant the world to me. And instead we went even earlier. I wanted to go earlier because of that. So that's where it all started. That was a good feeling.
And Matt, how much of the process or the situation now is what you're going to do in terms of a defense, an offensive scheme? Will you retain Vic Fangio? Do you want to run a 3-4? Schematically, what are you bringing, and what was that as part of the interview process?
Yeah, that's a good question, because that's a big part of it. And so we all are aware of that situation, and that's a very important hire for me. But there's a lot of things that go into that decision, and Vic and I have talked. We understand that. We understand the situation. But that's something that we're going to attack here after we get going here with today. We're going to attack that full steam ahead, and we're going to make a clear decision on what's best for Vic and what's best for this organization.
There's been a lot of reports that when Mitchell Trubisky was in the draft that you were very high on him. How much did that play into your decision coming here to develop a young quarterback? And, of course, what do you see in him?
It's certainly a part of it, but that's not the reason why I'm here. I'm here because of the organization and the direction, and I could feel that from the moment I was in that interview process. That's a benefit to have Mitch Trubisky. And I know a lot about him because I had him in the combine and we spent some time with him. But this is a team game, and you're just as important. Everyone on this team is just as important as the quarterback. But that was certainly a part of it.
How much time have you spent getting? I don't know how much time you've had to look at what Mitch was able to do this season.
Well, Matt Nagy, the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, as you saw, formally introduced, he will be charged with turning around Mitchell Trubisky and making him into a situational quarterback. His QBR in his rookie campaign, among the worst in the league. But if you dissect it and look a little bit closer, he struggled in every major situation a quarterback needs to be in. Great, particularly on third down when facing pressure, and then again in the red zone. Having said that, Lewis, you know, it was really a tough year. There were a lot of question marks. There were a lot of pieces that were not yet in place. But getting Mitchell Trubisky headed in the right direction, I would think, would be tantamount for this new head coach.
Yeah, and look, Matt made it a point to say that it's more than just about the quarterback, although we always know it's about the quarterback. That's where it starts. But this is a big project here now, and a lot of this is going to fall on not just Matt Nagy, but Ryan Pace in particular. Because he's going to be charged with making sure that, as he talked about, that he knew right away that this was the right fit and that this was the right guy, and he was ready to get to work working with this guy, meaning Matt Nagy. Well, that means identifying and acquiring the types of players that Matt needs in order to help Mitch Trubisky in particular, and then going from there. Because then Matt will do what he does best, which is, one, teach Mitch how to play the position the same way Andy Reid taught him how the position was supposed to be played, how Brad Childress helped him learn, how Marty Morningwig helped him learn. And then he was around guys like Alex Smith. He was around guys like Michael Vick. He's been around some great quarterbacks and great quarterback teachers. He'll take care of that part of it. The big part of the issue of the rebuilding here in Chicago is about what are they going to do to help Mitch out. How is he going to handle the coaching staff instruction? What's going to happen with Vic Fangio? Look, we're sitting there listening to him. He doesn't really know right now. He's kind of trying to figure it out. Yeah. But he knows that that's the most important. Before he even gets to Mitch, he's got to make sure that staff is rock solid.
Absolutely.
You know, we've talked about Sean McVay how many times? A lot, right? Well, he did a great job of putting together a staff, especially as defensive coordinator, to where he could literally take that side of the ball and go, Wade, handle that. I got to handle this. So that's where really his mind is at right now. But look, I'm fired up for this guy. I knew him. I started with the Eagles in 2008 when he was there as an intern. He is a great guy. He truly is exactly what he shows you. He's a great guy who loves his family, who's very much so blue collar, straight ahead, who's had the benefit of some great teachers. I'm fired up for him.
You know, we all have the opportunity to sit here when these head coaches are introduced, and then on the flip side, sadly, the day that some jobs come to an end. And there's always so much hope. You know, you always want guys like this to succeed.
Hope is eternal.
It's the start of something new, and you know he means it when he says it's a dream come true. You can't help but pull for guys like this. So best of luck in what should be an interesting road ahead in Chicago. Ahead on NFL Live, another coach. Yes, another one. You know this one will be introduced today. We'll talk expectations for John Gruden in Oakland.
This is a very exciting day for me in my life. I'm so proud to represent this franchise as their head coach, and I look forward to the days ahead with this organization.
The Oakland Raiders introduced John Gruden as their new head coach. We will bring it to you in its entirety live right here on ESPN. After 9 years in the broadcast booth, Gruden will return to the sidelines. He'll be formally introduced, as I just mentioned, at 3 o'clock Eastern this afternoon. It's his second stint, second time around for Gruden in Oakland, who previously coached the Raiders from 1998 to 2001. There were a few fans out there in the rain this afternoon and this morning to meet John Gruden as he arrived in Alameda, California at the facility. A lot of expectations, really a lot to talk about when you look at what John Gruden has in store at Oakland. Justine, I'll just start with you.
Yeah, well, I had an opportunity to talk to Marshall Newhouse, one of the offensive linemen for the Raiders, just to get his impression of
John Gruden arriving, and he said it was definitely a big transition going from not expecting to hear that with Jack Del Rio and hearing in the locker room when they completely didn't think that that was coming to now transition to, wait a minute, John Gruden of all people. And his comments were kind of interesting because he said, I know that John Gruden is going to come in here and he's going to set the expectations. But he said, I'm not quite sure if he's the same man or coach that he was 10 years ago. He said, are any of you the same people that you were 10 years ago? So he says, I'm sure he's wise and you know what his reputation is. But he said, I don't know what his actual knowledge is until I personally get to experience that. He said, I hope that the trend continues upward. And we'll see where it goes from here. So cautiously optimistic.
What do you expect, Lewis, in terms of John Gruden working with Derek Carr, who there's so much anticipation, there was so much sort of hype, if you will, heading into this season, and then he took a little bit of a step backward for a variety of different reasons. But what will Gruden bring for Carr?
Well, I think the sky will be the limit as far as Derek's potential and the potential for improvement in his game from this year going into next year because, one, John's a great teacher. Again, understand the tree that he comes from as far as quarterback development and the people that have taught him and the success that he has had with veteran quarterbacks. And Derek's a veteran quarterback, although a young veteran quarterback. And then now, having been out of the game for a little while and been able to really pick the brains of other coaches around not only the National Football League, but college as well, and putting all of that together now and saying, okay, look, we can go ahead and now we have some great pieces with the young quarterback, tremendous perimeter weapons. I think you're just going to see whatever offense you saw before when he was in Tampa Bay and when he was with Oakland, just magnify that times 10 as far as the diversity and the multiplicity of this kind of offense. And I think the most important thing, though, that's going to make John much better this time is the fact that he's been able to sit back now and kind of maybe reflect upon maybe how his interpersonal skills could have improved, how he could become better as far as relating to players. And I think that's where he's going to make his greatest improvements. He's going to have to because players are different now. And we talked about that a little bit. Players are different now.
Different generation.
That's right.
Really.
But he hasn't been out of touch with guys. Look, his quarterback camp has been very beneficial to him, especially when you're talking about guys like Derek Carr, because he's been around all these guys. He's seen what the different personalities are like coming into the NFL. I expect him to turn that program around very quickly.
You know, I think if there is a question mark, it would only have to be how he relates to these younger players. It's not about his layoff from the game, I don't think, because he's been so involved. I mean, he's a guy that, by all accounts, lives and breathes football in a variety of different capacities. But how will he relate, in your opinion, Damian, to these younger players?
Well, I think that's the great question in this whole thing because you're talking about a guy when you look back on his career between the Raiders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, he was part of a rebuilding process with Rich Gannon. He turned Rich Gannon into a league MVP in the latter part of his career. Brad Johnson. He's dealt with Jeff Garcia. He's dealt with a bunch of veteran guys who were on the backside of their career. Now you have a young guy in Derek Carr who's still ascending as a player. And like we all said here, this is a different league. You know, we're talking different CBA. You don't have nearly the practice time that you had, you know, back in the day. So how will he adjust, you know, both logistically as far as practice and just from a person-to-person standpoint, dealing directly with Derek Carr? Because Derek Carr's not going anywhere after signing that big deal in Oakland.
Nor should he.
He has the cachet to weather any early adversity. I do think the players will be very vigilant to see, you know, what is the application of that knowledge. So whereas that knowledge might not have changed, maybe it has been augmented over the 10 years, it really is the application of that knowledge to the players today because, you know, they will push back and they will be watching and they will see there's a lot of pressure that comes with that big money bag that he's carrying into Oakland as well. And people will want to see if it yields immediate returns.
But you know what, but make no mistake about it. John Gruden is the face of that franchise now. You don't bring John Gruden back and give him what you gave him.
10 years.
If he's not the face of your organization. So the players will have to understand. There's a new boss in town now.
There's no doubt. And
there's a new boss.
And he will be looking for a certain profile of player. And that player will be, look, John wrote a book. Said, do you really love football? And he will be looking for players like that. And he will weed out the players who don't have that same kind of commitment. Because I can tell you this, he does not like the fact that there is a lot of practice time. He is a guy who likes to be on the grass. He is a guy who likes to teach and likes to work on the fundamentals. And he's going to find players. He's going to keep the ones that really want to buy into that kind of thing. And he'll find those coming in that will fit that kind of profile. So you better be ready to work if you're an Oakland Raider.
Yeah, I would get that sense. I would say that's correct. And the process, of course, has already begun. Today it sort of officially gets underway when he's introduced again, 3 o'clock Eastern, and we will bring it to you live from the West Coast. When we come back, though, it's the rematch we've been waiting for. The Steelers and the Jags one more time after Big struggled the first time.
You got the best corner tandem, the D-line, Saxonville. Y'all know what they about.
You know, we have confidence that we can go up there and win. You know, that feels good.
He has strong character. He's got a great family. And he shares the same passion for the game that I have. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Reed, with him being a longtime leader in our league and a successful coach. Coach Reed believes in Matt Nagy, and so do I. I'm proud to be able to pair with Matt and attack our plan for success together. With that, I'd like to introduce the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, Matt Nagy. Our research, preparation, and the interview process led us to Matt Nagy. The preparation is what allowed us to work aggressively and also with accuracy. We knew exactly what we were looking for in our head coach. This is about more than the quarterback. Yes, that's the most important position on our team, but this is about 53 players, and it's about leading a group of men, and it's about winning in all three phases. We met with Matt Sunday morning in Kansas City, and the longer we dug in, the more we knew.
Here's the skinny on Matt Nagy, a.k.a. the Bears' new head coach. He played college ball at Delaware and spent 6 years as a quarterback in the Arena Football League. After that, he began his coaching career as an intern with the Eagles in 2008 under Andy Reid. He went with Reid to the Chiefs in 2013, serving as the quarterback's coach and named offensive coordinator back in June. You may also remember that he took over some of the play calling duties for Andy Reid after Coach Reid decided to hand that over. Lewis, he inherits a team that's got a lot of question marks, a lot of holes to fill, but a promising young quarterback with which, he'll be charged with working with. I think we are going to go to Chicago. Is that correct? He is being introduced as the head coach.
We met with 6 very qualified coaches over 5 days, and we appreciate their time and their consideration. I can tell you they each presented unique circumstances and truly made this decision difficult, but also very clear. We set out to find the best leader for our franchise, period. We knew he was special and he was the right fit for us. The interview started around 8 o'clock in the morning, finished around 12:30, and it was continued with dinner later that night. We go through this process, all the research, the amount of references, and it all points you in a direction. And then you go through the interviews. And to be honest, it's a really great feeling when you meet a person and everything clicks and everything comes together. Matt's a proven leader. He's a winner. He's intelligent. He's innovative.